Thank you. Hello, and welcome to Wellness and Music. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you to the town of Oakville for having this wonderful virtual program. I am live at the Black Box Studio at the Queen Elizabeth Community Center. I'm all by my lonesome, but I'm not really alone because you're there with me. So thank you. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces and welcome. And I'm so excited to come to you every Monday at this time. As I mentioned, my name's Dyanne Dumas. I'm a local musician. I'm a registered music teacher. I teach voice, piano, and guitar. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I've been teaching for 25 years. And I still feel 25. Well, most of the time, that is. So I have lots of experience. I've had the opportunity to work with a wide range of students from preschoolers all the way to almost centurions. So if you lie somewhere in that category, which I'm sure you do, welcome once again. Music has been such an enriching part of my life, and I have had the best job in the world by sharing my passion of music with each of you. And I'm so excited about this program because I get to do that again in very unique times, as we shall say. This program is going to help you discover the benefits of music. It's going to help boost your mood, decrease anxiety, and at the end of the day, put a smile on your face. Music and wellness affects us on an emotional level, a physical level, our auditory level, and an intellectual level. And we'll be talking more about that in the weeks to come. My hope is that this music will speak to you. It will help you remember and reminisce some of your own personal experiences with music. And it will encourage you to share with others, feel connected, feel supported. So without further ado, let's get started. And we're going to start at sort of the beginning on my journey. Well, pre my journey, I shall say. My parents met through music. Before I was born, they actually recorded this song together on those old little LPs or EPs, I guess they called it. And I want to share this song with you. My dad was a guitar player and he was playing in a band. My mother came out and saw him and they connected and she went into the studio. She was actually playing the violin, or she was taking some violin lessons, but that didn't last long when she started a family, as I'm sure many of you probably can relate to. Once you start raising a family, you don't have time for music. And that's what's so great about it, is that you can come back to it later on. So many of my students have come back as seniors and have picked up their guitar or their piano again and have reconnected with music. But back to my story, my parents connected and they made this song together, a recording of it. And it is a wonderful song. It's an easy song for you to play along. And I'm encouraging you today, pick up your guitar. Daniel's going to put the lyrics on and the chord changes. It's a 2-chord song in the key of C. C and G7. I think your chart says D and A7, so my apologies. Think back a letter in the alphabet, so it's C and G7. And it's a simple song, Down in the Valley. Down in the valley, valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow. Hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Roses love of sunshine, violets love dew, angels in heaven know I love you, know I love you, dear, know I love you. Angels in heaven know I love you. Build me a castle 40 feet high, so I can see him as he rides by, as he rides by, dear, as he rides by, so I can see him as he rides by. Writing this letter containing 3 lines, answer my question, will you be mine? Will you be mine, dear? Will you be mine? Answer my question, will you be mine? Well, that's a real old song. Maybe you don't remember it, but if you've taken some classes with me, you probably will recognize it as the first song that I taught you in our music classes. And feel free to jump in, make comments, raise a hand, ask a question. I just wanted to share my roots and where it came from. And I think it's really special. My parents did not go on to make any more records, although my dad did stay active as a guitarist and played in a band part-time in the evenings. And music was always in my home. It always was an enriching experience. And I'm really grateful for that. The next song I'd like to share comes from Peter, Paul, and Mary. Well, they recorded it. It's called 500 Miles. And a little story, and I don't know if Louisa is tuned in today, but Louisa is one of my senior students. And years ago, she taught piano with me. She learned as a senior citizen, and she did exceptionally well. I remember her telling me stories that she would go phone her family back in Italy and play songs for them that she had learned on her keyboard. Well, recently, a couple years ago, we reconnected, and she's been taking a small group guitar class with me and with some other friends of hers. And so she's learned to play the guitar, and I believe she is I'm trying to think of her age. I think she is somewhere between 86 and 89. So it is so awesome. Back to Peter, Paul, and Mary. She has 3 children, and the first son was named Paul, and her daughter was named Mary. So they said, what are we going to name the 3rd child? Well, they ended up calling him Peter. So we have a kick about that at our guitar classes, that her 3 children are Peter, Paul, and Mary. By the way, we are playing the key of G, but I'm capped at the 5th fret, which brings me up to the key of C if you're playing along with me. And if you're continuing with these classes, which I'm really encouraging you to, please bring your capos along so that you can be in the same key as myself. And if you're playing the fiddle or another instrument, we are in the key of C. So I'd like to say hello to some of you viewers out there. So Daniel, if I can see who's actually viewing today and I can give them a personal hello to them, that would be awesome. Okay, Linda, I see you. Hello, hello. And Deb, I see you all the way from Canmore. Yay! Do you have your guitar out? Can't quite see if you've got your guitar. Hopefully, I see Lisa, Jonas. Hello, Grant. Thank you for joining. Awesome. Whoops, I just lost my screen there. Okay, awesome, great. So nice to have you with me today. Does anybody have a personal experience or a personal connection with that song? And this is your program. It is participatory. So I'm encouraging you to speak out, share your stories, even just share your feelings of what music has meant to you. And if you've been a student of mine, you can tell me some of your positive experiences that you've had with music classes. So please don't be shy.
Yeah, folks, feel free to turn your microphone off mute, and we have a speaker in here. We can hear you directly. The only thing we ask is that not to speak over instruction or each other speaking.
Great. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to warm you up a little bit more, and I'll do that. I was looking to see if Darcia is out here today. I don't see her. This is a new song. It's actually a Christmas song, but in the town of Oakville, we were told through the next door neighbor um, site that we're to leave our Christmas lights on until the end of January. And that's going to help to bring some Christmas cheer or to keep the lights shining through this lockdown period that we're currently in. So because that we are leaving our lights on, our Christmas lights on, I thought that it would be okay to still do a Christmas song. This is a brand new song that I recently learned. It was requested by Darcia, one of my students. I was hoping she would be on today. And it's a John Denver song. It's brand new to me, but I really enjoyed it this past Christmas season. And a little story that I'd like to share with it is this past Christmas, I wanted to do something a little different. We always do presents, and that's the traditional thing. We give each other presents, and then the next year you don't really remember what you got, but you know it was good, and you're very thankful and grateful. But I'm really big on experiences. And so with COVID happening, I thought, well, there's not a lot we can do publicly, but one thing we could still do is go to my friend's farm who she boards horses. And I took my two daughters and my husband, and my girls got to ride horses, and they got to learn what it's like to take care of a horse and experience this majestic creature. And it was such a beautiful day. Yes, it was cold, but we were inside the stadium and we had a beautiful memory. So, following that, reflecting on that experience, I actually made a little video singing this song, and I sent it to my friend who we visited at her horse farm, and as a little Christmas wish. So she opened the video on Christmas Eve and played it for her family at the Christmas table. And she's one of these people that she's a tough farm girl, and but it did make her cry. So music has a way of doing that. So I'd like to share it with you. Tall in the saddle, we spend Christmas Day driving the cattle over snow-covered plains. All of the good gifts given today are ours is the sky and the wide open range. Back in the cities, they have different ways. Football and eggnog and Christmas parades. But I'll take my saddle and I'll take the reins. It's Christmas for cowgirls on wide open plains. Campfire for warmth as we stop for the night. The stars overhead are the Christmas tree lights. The wind sings a hymn as we bow down to pray. It's Christmas for cowgirls on wide open plains. Tall in the saddle, we spend Christmas Day driving the cattle over snow-covered plains. So many gifts have been opened today, but ours is the sky and the wide open range. It's Christmas for cowgirls on wide open range. We miss John Denver. He left this earth way too soon, but his music lives on. And that's the thing about music. It is eternal. It's universal. It speaks to us in ways that words can't. And the gift of music is something that is to be treasured, but it's not to be held in, it's to be shared. And I encourage you, all of us obviously have connected to music, and I'm encouraging you to continue to share it in whatever form you can. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having the best singing voice or playing the guitar the best. It's about experiencing something that's so powerful that can bring a tear to one's eye or can bring a smile to their face, that can lighten their day, it can change their mood. It can give them a burst of energy to complete an undaunting task. Music is powerful. This next song, Daisy a Day, I'm in a capo at the 5th fret. It was written and performed by Judd Strunk. It reached Canada's #3 on the pop chart. It's a relationship about a girl and boy growing up and growing old together. So I just wanted to know how many of you have actually married your sweetheart, your high school sweetheart. Ah, Lisa. Okay, great. Do you want to tell me how many years you've been married? Or is that too revealing? Is that too personal?
No, it's not personal. I just have to do the math because I forget. So it's we got married in 1984. So I guess this will be 36.
Wow, great. Today, 36 months is a long time. So congratulations.
It is. We were high school sweethearts, but like we went to the same high school. But the year that I moved here and went to high school, he had dropped out of school. So while we were both high school age, we were not at the same high school at the same time. But
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And May says hello. Yay, thank you. Hello to you, May. Well, I did marry my high school sweetheart, and I'm still married to him, but I'm not going to tell you how many years. But it's been a while. Anybody else? Growing old together is a wonderful thing. And this song, Daisy a Day, is an oldie. I have to put out my lyrics here. But it's a wonderful story about a beginning and eventually the ending He remembers the first time he met her. He remembers the first thing she said. He remembered the first time he held her, and the night that she came to his bed. He remembers her sweet way of saying, "Honey, has something gone wrong?" He remembers the fun and the teasing, and the reason he wrote her this song. I'll give you a daisy, a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy, a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. They would walk down the street in the evening, and for years I would see them go by. And their love that was more than the clothes that they wore could be seen in the gleam of their eyes. As a kid they would take me for candy, and I'd love to go tagging along. We'd hold hands while we walked to the corner, and the old man would sing her this song. I'll give you a daisy, a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy, a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. He walks down the street in the evening, and he stops by the old candy store. And somehow I believe he's believing. He's holding her hand like before. He feels all her love walking with him, and he smiles at the things she might say. Then the old man walks up to the hilltop, and he gives her a daisy, a day. I'll give you a daisy, a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy, a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. Let's take the chorus again. I'll give you a daisy, a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy, a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still and the four winds we know blow away. Well, Ma eventually passed, and my dad spent 18 years as a widow widower, and he reconnected with music. He actually joined a fiddle band, and he was a guitar player, the rhythm guitar player. And they would go out. There was a lot of fiddle players, I tell you. But he'd go out and they would entertain at seniors' homes and nursing homes. And he reconnected with music. He missed mom so much. And maybe some of you are on your own. Music was a really big part. I think it kept him alive for almost another 20 years. And eventually, his hearing diminished to the point when he played the guitar, it didn't sound the way it used to sound. And that bothered him greatly because being a musician, you really rely on your ears. So he would get frustrated because he'd play, but it would buzz. And even though we did get hearing aids, they never really worked the same as your own. And he eventually stopped playing the guitar, but he had the opportunity to see his granddaughter, my daughter, play, and spent the last 4 years of his life moving out to Ontario near us. And he came to a lot of music competitions, and he came to all of my music performances, and he really enjoyed that. I saw my dad cry twice in his life. The first time was when my brother died in a car accident at the age of 20. And the second time was recently when I shared with him one of my students who gone on as a senior into the performance realm. And I said, Dad, you know, this is my student, Margaret. So if you're watching, hello, Margaret. She joined a seniors group and she got on stage and soloed with her song. And I was telling my dad, at this point, he was in the nursing home. And I said, Dad, you know, Margaret got up there and she sang and played. And he knew Margaret from coming to my home for lessons for many years. And I said, and she stood up. And after she finished playing, people stood up and they clapped. And all of a sudden, my dad broke out in tears. And I looked at him and I said, Dad, are you okay? And he said, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for her. And he was. But I also think that brought back that memory of the years that he'd been on stage and playing and singing and enjoying the music and sharing it with people in the audience. And it really touched him, and it really touched me. It showed me the power of music. Even speaking of someone else's experience could bring tears to his eyes. So want to share the next song. But before I do that, I want to open it up to those of you who have similar experiences, or maybe you are alone and your loved one has passed, or maybe you're still enjoying life together and treasuring each day, which I hope you are. And I hope that you are putting music on in your home, because it sure helps with the cooking and doing the dishes and all those other things and other areas of our life that we have to attend to. But I don't want to call on names, although I can see everyone out there. But does anybody have anything to share? A personal experience, if you like, or something that brought tears to your eyes, tears or tears of joy, anything at all that is memorable to you or to someone who's close to you.
Hey Diane, I can steal if I can maybe loosen up the group so they can share. I know that was a very emotional story you shared, so I certainly can't top it. But something that invoked emotion from me with music, and I'm sure many people listening have heard a local musician, well, Dallas Green, but he goes by the name City in Color. So for those who have come to virtual programs previously, probably know that I've recently become a parent because that's all I talk about. And every night, my daughter and I, we dance to the same City in Color song, Northern Wind. So if you haven't heard the song, I encourage you to listen it and picture a new dad dancing with his little daughter. But this week, she's now 13 months old, and she's finally gotten big enough to get sick of the dance. And it is just devastating for my mental health this week because she refuses to just be held for that, 4.5 minutes. So I look forward to the days when maybe she recaptures the joy of just snuggling with her dad and dancing, because there's this little window now where she's a toddler and it's like I'm a jungle gym. She'll do everything she can to get away from me, and it's killing me because I want this little moment back.
Okay, well, yeah, so all spectrums, music for the young, music for all stages of our life. And the wonderful thing that I've experienced with music as well, music keeps us young. It really, and we'll be talking about that in further sessions, but it actually never goes away. It's so deeply embedded in us that even people that lose their ability to speak, or areas of dementia and Alzheimer's, when they hear music, they respond. And I've had that opportunity of seeing that myself, where people are really disabled, and when you start to sing and play for them, they become alive again. The music comes out, and sometimes the lyrics come out, and they remember all the words to a song, even though they're at a stage in their life where they're struggling to speak. The power of music is great, and that's what we're celebrating in this session. It's great because it brings wellness to us. It brings us great joy. And I shared some stories that were maybe more on the melancholy or somber note. Um, Music facilitates that as well. It helps us to grieve, it helps us to express emotion and joy. So we're going to switch it to the joyful part. As a young girl, we used to go to a lot of weddings, and I come from the Polish and Ukrainian background. So we did the polka and all those fun dances. And as a young girl, there was always music, of course, at weddings, and people were singing and dancing. And I had an old uncle who did drink a little bit too much, and he would then start singing. And he would start singing this song that I'm going to share with you, You Are My Sunshine. So a fun song and sing along. I'm in the key of B flat. I've capoed up to the third fret, and it goes like this. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and I hung my head and I cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I'll always love you and make you happy. I forgot to put a solo in there for those of you who are playing the fiddle, or maybe you can invite your friends who do play the fiddle, and then I'll make sure that I play instrumentally so they have a chance to solo in those sections in the song. Um, a real nice way to kind of wrap up the session today, bringing the sunshine into our lives. Although the song is a little bit about doom and gloom, leaving each other and that sort of thing, even though it has a happy note to it. But let's look on the bright side of things, that we have each other, and music is a great communicator. And what I'd like to do is challenge each of you this week to reach out to somebody you know, somebody who's alone. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, and give them the gift of music. I actually had a friend of mine send me a little voice memo this week, and it was a nice surprise. I pressed the button and I heard them playing and singing their guitar. It's a student of mine, and it was like, wow, that just blessed me so much just to hear their voice. So I encourage you to do the same. And if you don't want to play and sing for them, you can send them a song, maybe something that reminds them of you, and or you of them, and something that gives them a little message of how special they are. So think about that. Reach out to each other. Music speaks where words sometimes cannot. And I wish you a blessed week. And I look forward to continuing with Wellness and Music next Monday night at noon, Monday day at noon next week. So have an awesome week. Does anybody have anything to say to wrap up? We're all good.
Anything, if there's anything anyone wants to add, please feel free to speak. It
Danielle?
sounds like someone else is coming in. Is that May?
Yeah, Diane and Daniel, Happy New Year. Thank you very much, Diane. I enjoy it so much, and I will try to learn singing. I don't have that much involved in music, but I think I like your songs and your voice. And I've been singing along with you, actually, seeing the works on the screen. So I've been enjoying it so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, May. Thank you. And we will work, we're going to work a little bit on our voice in coming weeks as well. We're going to do some vocal warm-ups and some vocal technique. So please stay tuned. Lots of different activities to follow.
Will do. Thank you.
And
Great.
for those of you who are joining us new this season, I invite you all to join us all on Wednesdays as well at 1:30. We are exploring art with George Sanford. If you haven't had a chance to attend one of George's programs, I really strongly recommend you join. George does a wonderful job of taking listeners on, virtual travels or explorations through time. He's a really professional broadcaster, and just has so much knowledge to share, and really presents it in a way that that is really enjoyable. So much of the content George has covered in our past session, I never expected myself to want to listen to, but man, I go back and I listen to George often just because he brings such a unique lens, and it's really exciting that we have access to him for free on our public platform here. Also on Wednesday at 5:30, we will be featuring For the Love of Cooking with Chef Laura Strath. Each week on Monday evening, we will be posting recipes on the town's webpage. So if you want to cook along, you can join Chef Laura and myself in making really wonderful items. This Wednesday, we are making those hot chocolate bombs. So those hot chocolate balls that you can drop into milk and kind of turn into hot chocolate. So please check in, same place on Wednesday at 5:30. And finally, Thursday morning, early afternoon, we have gentle stretching and mindfulness with Christine Sepeju at 11:30 a.m. Again, if you haven't attended a class with Christine, it is like basically chugging 3 Red Bull. She is just a ball of energy and such a positive light. I can assure you that if you have that time, you'll be grateful that you used it by visiting Christine's class.
And I'll sing you out. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take Have an awesome week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.